German Chancellor Friedrich Merz began his first official visit to Israel with a series of high-level meetings in Jerusalem, marking an important moment in bilateral relations as both governments attempt to navigate a period of heightened regional tension and diverging political expectations. The visit opened at the president's residence in Jerusalem, where Merz was formally received by Israeli President Isaac Herzog. The welcome ceremony underscored the traditional symbolism of German-Israeli ties as both leaders stood before the national flags of Germany, Israel, and the European Union. Their exchanges were brief but carried deliberate political messaging as they prepared for joint statements. The event brought forward a point of contrast that had already been discussed in Berlin before the trip. Chancellor Merz's support for Israel's security remains unchanged, but Germany now openly urges a shift in Israeli policy in this, particularly regarding the future of the Gaza Strip and the stalled framework for a two-state solution. During the joint press availability, Chancellor Merz reaffirmed what he described as Germany's long-standing and immovable obligation toward Israel. Speaking in German, he emphasized the continuity of this position. His remarks were clear, direct, and intended to signal that political debates inside Germany do not affect the country's core strategic stance. Merz stated, "I consider it a great honor and a truly great distinction to be here and to reaffirm that standing by this country is and will remain the unchanging core principle of the Federal Republic of Germany's policy." The statement reflected his effort to balance two messages: unwavering support for Israel's security and Germany's interest in seeing renewed diplomatic efforts that move the region back toward a political process centered on a two-state arrangement. Before the trip, Merz had already indicated that he viewed Israel's current direction on Gaza as incompatible with long-term regional stability. His comments in Jerusalem reaffirmed that position, though he avoided confrontation during the live remarks. President Isaac Herzog responded with a message focused on the ongoing conflict in Gaza and the steps Israel believes are necessary before advancing any broader political horizon. Speaking in English, he emphasized that Israeli policy remains centered on dismantling Hamas's operational capabilities and enabling a new regional framework to emerge. Herzog said, "It is clear that in order to move to the next stage in the Gaza ceasefire agreement, we must make sure that Hamas is removed out of capabilities in Gaza and offer a horizon to the region, a new horizon to the region, a new horizon to the people of Gaza and the people of Israel, a new horizon to Israel and its Palestinian neighbors, and Israel and its Arab neighbors. We have to work on it together." Herzog's remarks made reference to ongoing negotiations surrounding a potential phased ceasefire arrangement. These discussions remain fragile, shaped by divisions between Israeli political factions, pressure from regional actors, and international diplomacy aimed at securing a sustainable pause in fighting. His emphasis on creating what he called a new horizon was intended to signal openness to political initiatives once security conditions are re-established. Following the statements, both leaders exchanged a handshake in front of the assembled officials and journalists. The atmosphere was formal and controlled, mirroring the seriousness of the political moment. Germany's role as a close partner of Israel, as well as a key voice within Europe on Middle East policy, faces significant attention on any deviation from its long-held positions. Merz's comments, though consistent with Germany's official line, highlight a growing interest in pushing for diplomatic recalibration. The visit comes during intensified scrutiny of Israel's military operations in the Gaza Strip. Germany has repeatedly affirmed Israel's right to defend itself while simultaneously stressing the necessity of proportionality, humanitarian access, and a pathway toward political resolution. Merz's public remarks refrained from criticism during the joint event, but the German government has called for a strategic reassessment that ultimately reopens the political track toward a two-state solution. Throughout the meeting, visual coverage documented the setting inside the president's residence. Cameras captured both leaders standing beside one another as they addressed the press. The flags on the table reinforced the symbolic and diplomatic nature of the meeting, with journalists observing closely for signs of divergence or alignment. After the statements concluded, Herzog and Merz proceeded into the residence for internal discussions. As part of official protocol, Chancellor Merz signed the presidential guestbook, The signing ceremony is a standard feature of bilateral visits, intended to formally mark the occasion and record the meeting in the diplomatic archives of the State of Israel. Footage showed Merz taking his seat, reviewing the guestbook, and adding his signature. While the joint statements remained concise, they reflected deeper political considerations playing out behind closed doors. From the German perspective, Merz arrives at a moment when domestic and European partners increasingly call for clearer parameters regarding the end state of the Gaza conflict. Humanitarian concerns remain significant, and Berlin continues to support international relief efforts aimed at stabilizing conditions inside the Strip. For Israel, the government's focus is still centered on military objectives, particularly ensuring that Hamas cannot reconstitute its command structure or regain control of territory. The goal, as described by Herzog, remains to remove the group's operational capabilities before entering any subsequent diplomatic phase. These differing emphases do not signify a break in relations, but they illustrate the careful balance Germany must navigate: a commitment to Israel's security and a broader European policy vision advocating for a negotiated political solution involving two states. Merz's visit underscores that Germany sees both as essential components of its foreign policy. At the regional level, the Gaza conflict continues to affect diplomatic calculations across the Middle East. Israeli-Arab relations remain strained, though certain states maintain back-channel communication in hopes of containing escalation. The prospect of renewed regional cooperation depends heavily on stability within Gaza and on clear commitments from the involved actors regarding future governance arrangements. During the visit, Israeli officials reiterated that any political track must address both security concerns and the long-term future of Gaza. Germany's position, aligned with broader European sentiment, calls for reintroducing the political parameters that were previously central to international diplomacy, negotiations based on mutually recognized borders, security guarantees, and steps toward Palestinian self-determination. The Merz-Herzog meeting also takes place against the backdrop of Germany's broader role in international diplomacy. As a central EU member, Germany continues to participate in discussions with partners including France, the United Kingdom, and the United States regarding support for regional stability, reconstruction planning, and potential diplomatic mechanisms following the cessation of hostilities. Inside Israel, domestic political debates remain intense. While the president's office maintains a largely ceremonial role, Herzog has increasingly acted as a unifying voice in times of crisis. His comments during the joint appearance with Merz reflect an attempt to signal continuity and direction amid political fragmentation within Israel's governing coalition. Merz's arrival in Jerusalem marks the beginning of a wider program that includes meetings with Israeli officials, assessments of conditions related to the conflict, and discussions about Germany's future role in regional diplomacy. His delegation aims to reaffirm Israel's strategic importance to Germany, while also pressing for steps that could re-establish the political framework needed for long-term peace-building. Footage of the ceremony, including the handshake, the flag display, and the signing of the guestbook, illustrates the formality of the engagement and the significance attributed to the visit by both governments. These visual elements accompany the broader political narrative. Germany and Israel remain close partners, but both acknowledge that the situation in the region requires careful recalibration. As the visit continues, attention remains focused on whether upcoming meetings will lead to more detailed discussions about the path forward in Gaza and the possibilities for renewed diplomatic engagement. Merz's call for a reversal of current policy trends aligns with an international push for de-escalation, humanitarian access, and a viable political horizon. President Herzog's comments highlight Israel's position that security conditions must be resolved before advancing into any next stage of negotiations or ceasefire arrangements. His emphasis on working together underscores the role of international partners, including Germany, in shaping regional outcomes. The Chancellor's visit reinforces that Germany views stability in the Middle East as a central strategic concern. While differences in emphasis between Berlin and Jerusalem are evident, the commitment to cooperation remains a defining element of the relationship. The situation now stands at a pivotal moment, with Germany reaffirming its support for Israel while urging a political pathway forward, and Israeli leadership emphasizing security conditions as the prerequisite for any next steps.